realizing how much of a global pandemic this simping has become, I feel it's my duty to inspire and teach the masses on how to become a king. And hopefully, after this little crash course, you can apply these tools to your everyday life and successfully become a king. I'm gonna break this down into 4 simple parts. That way, no matter if you're level 2 simp or level 10 simp, you can follow along. And if you're asking yourself, what's a level 2 simp or what's a level 10 simp, you're probably already a simp. So just keep watching the video and focus. Part 1 is guidelines. These are things we must never forget because they're principles that shape who we are and define us as a person. For instance, do you like that dog skin? Love the melanin?
I might just hit it raw, hold on, that's on my element. I like dark skins. Love a melanin.
Then that's a king mentality. A little brown skin, dark skin thing is good for the soul. But in tandem with this, you must also be able to handle the thickness of these queens because all kings suffer from the same illness, and that's a sickness for the thickness. But you must also remember, you don't need a bitch. You what a bitch need. Understand your worth. Don't let these females play you.
Never need a bitch, I'm what a bitch needs.
And most of all, I can't stress this model of a guideline enough. So when I say it, you say it with me on 3. 1, 2, 3. We don't love these hoes! For part 2, we have acronyms. Very simple, nothing extraordinarily absurd. I'm gonna write them down as I go over them so you can follow along with me. You see, simple enough. Like I said, nothing crazy. Now let me write the last one and we can start to go over what they all mean. Now looking at this, I can understand what you're thinking right now, which is, what the fuck does BDE stand for? And that's a good question. BDE stands for Big Dick Energy. This is something that your peers will state about you as you conduct your kingliness. It's like an aura. It's like going Super Saiyan and you have that glow to you. That's what BDE is. It's a glow. Right below, we have WYM. This stands for, what do you mean? Now this acronym is extremely underrated because every king uses it but doesn't know its true origins. This was created to be able to win in arguments against females because there's 3 things in life that's guaranteed: death, taxes, and losing in an argument against a female. The only person that could beat a female in an argument is another female. So when she's spazzing on you through text, you text her this, so she has to go more in depth on what she already said, and therefore she's arguing with herself. So therefore she's beating herself. So therefore that's the loophole on how to beat a female in an argument and win. Right underneath we have Definimabiff. And what does Definimabiff mean? It means, do you want me to eat your pussy from the back? And the reason why we text this is because every guy is texting a girl, what are you doing? WYD. That's mad generic. You gotta text her the Definimabiff because girls love head more than they do headaches. Going over part 3, we'll explain some commonly used tactics. This can be anything from when you're trying to smash your girl and she's like, nah, because she's not in the mood. Or if you're trying to smash your girl's best friend and she's like, nah, I'm not in the mood. And you're like, let me just put the tip in. And then you get the tip in and now you just tipped your way into some full-on pussy. We also match female toxicity. And why do we do that? It's because 2 negatives equal a positive.
Quick maths.
That allows for optimal attraction. And then when she gets comfortable, you can turn up the toxicity just a little bit more. To go along with this, kings will also send toxic texts to former little bootangs and former exes so we can try to get that connection going again. Make that bond, reunite it. Finally, let's review some acts of kingliness for part 4. If she says no pussy tonight, you respond with, no pussy from you tonight. If she attempts to grab your phone, snatch that shit back because men are faithful human beings. So why would she even have the audacity to grab your phone to look through it in the first place?
He can do that. He's a kid who's very explosive. He'll take that big hit.
If you talk about how niggas ain't shit to females with the successful intent of gaining and acquiring some pussy, that's not simping, that's some king shit. Because you're reinforcing females' beliefs for your own personal gain. If you ever find yourself lost or unsure or confused, might I even add confuzzled, just calmly breathe in, calmly breathe out, and ask yourself this. What would Future do? You wanna know what kings and faithful men also do and have in common? We get rid of evidence. Kings also eat pussy for themselves. We don't eat pussy for y'all, we eat pussy for us. You wanna know why? Because it tastes scrum diddly umptious. That's why. And then we have definitive some king shit, some insider trader knowledge.